All right, folks, back on the boss man. So you see that big C behind you. That means Citadel's head coach. The Bulldogs are with me, Coach Ed Conroy. Back for the second time, Citadel, second year, the second step there. Coach Conroy, good to see you, man. Looking great, man. I see you, man. I love the background, brother.
Oh, thank you. That's one of our improvements over the first year. Trying to get a lot done in your first year, and that's one of the things was kind of redoing the offices a little bit. So happy to share that with you.
Yes, indeed, Coach. I mean, for you, man. We talked last year around this time, man. How fast is this year flown on by, man? Since we talked last year to from last year to now, man. How fast has it went for you, man?
Incredible. When I saw that we were going to get together again, I thought, wow, it's already been a year. I couldn't believe it'd been a year. You just have so many things you're trying to get done, and the list is endless in that first year. But and then the way the calendar is now with recruiting and the guys being able to be on campus in the summer, just feels nonstop. But it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling because you're doing something you love, and you're very grateful to be able to do it. And I've got terrific group of guys and almost an entirely new group. And so getting to know them this summer has been a lot of fun.
I hear that, Coach. You know what, man? I feel like that's the best part about it, man. We have a whole new group. You got to get those chess pieces together, kind of move them around, evaluate what you have, kind of figure out what you truly have is what you can get to that untapped potential that you can kind of tap into. We're seeing what you have. It's all being so new.
Oh, every day, we get 4 hours on the court with these guys in the summer now per week. But every day you go out there and we do a lot of about 1 hour workouts and things like that. But you feel like you're unwrapping the new Christmas present every time you go out there because I've got so many new young guys that you kind of see what they can do, and you start getting excited about what the season can be.
And with them being so young, Coach, they aren't as callous yet. They want to be in the gym. They want to learn more. You kind of like learn new things from you because you're a veteran in this game for so long, man. So those young guys, to me, Coach, feel like they have that energy, man. Like, oh yes, teach me more, show me more than an older guy who's like, okay, Coach, I've been through this already. I know. These young guys really take that teaching and coaching very, very, very well.
It really is, and I would say across the country. Obviously, there's different opinions on the transfer portal and this era that we're in with collective and NIL and guys changing rosters, but I don't think at the end of it, any coach loves to get out there on the floor and teach. And when you have a new group, I think that's always exciting. There's just a different buzz in the air. And these guys have been terrific. They've put a lot of time in the gym. It's been fun to see them. And, I've been back for 1 year, but they're all asking me, questions. I've got to show them, what we're all about and talk about what we're all about. And I get to show them Charleston, the Citadel. It's a neat time.
No doubt, Coach. And I feel like this, man, this time of year, I know for me, when I was with my guys, I was a better player when I was with my guys in Nashville. When I wasn't in Atlanta doing my own thing, because I feel like hold me more accountable. I'm gonna work harder. I'm gonna get in the gym because I don't want to be the oddball, not being in the gym working. I don't want to be the oddball, not being in the weight room. So I feel like them been on campus with you guys now, able to have those 4 hours a week, man. It feels like accountability factor where it gets them to be more of a team because I both know this, Coach. Come fall and come into winter time, if it's some adversity gonna hit. But this you build that chemistry now. So when it happens, you still be together and connected, as you all both know, and I both know, which is good for a team to win games.
No question. Every team goes through this where you're trying to learn a lot of things, but when that team first gets together, it's just in our nature. We're competitive, and guys start trying to, see where they fit, where they're going to fit during the year. But like you said, this time of year, they kind of take a step back and they can really focus on learning, getting better individually, all those type of things. And because we all know once we start getting in October, every one of those practices, those guys can be fighting for playing time. Then you hit November and you got those early season games, and people want to put you in or out of the tournament after one game,
Yeah.
2 games. And it just everything changes. The noise level changes. So to be in the gym with your guys, with no other voices, no other noise out there, this is a special time of year.
And Coach, man, for you, man, I know last year, man, you had some tough games and close games, man. Talk about how you get the young team to execute when it's late game situations. I know a lot of times you learn to win by doing it, And those games, some games you could have won last year because they were really, really close. Talk about getting them to understand how to execute late game scenarios. So next year, they would have lost last year, but win this year.
No question. And, I thought last year's team, I thought we were kind of able to figure it out. And we were able to get a late February home game against Furman, our best team in our league, obviously did well in the NCAA tournament. We beat them at home. And then we had Wofford coming in a couple of days later, had a chance to win that one. And then, we had a couple unfortunate injuries. We lost both of our centers, and we weren't deep enough last year to kind of withstand that. But our team went through that exact process you're talking about, learning how to win games. And early on, I thought there was a couple. We had Longwood at home and a couple others where we had to lead with a minute or 2 minutes to go, and we just didn't pull it out, didn't finish it off. And I think you got to put them in those situations a lot. I think you have to grow that mental toughness. I think that's one of the things I talk to our guys a lot about is how the Citadel helps me develop players. What we do on a daily basis with our academic part of our school, but also the military part of our school, it's tough and it does grind you. You have to have some grit to go through, and I think it helps develop mental toughness. But when they're freshmen, they certainly need every one of those reps they can get. And nothing like winning a couple of close games early to get you to the end of the year. I did have a couple of grad transfers last year. Austin Ash, who had a great year for me from Iowa, Elijah Morgan, who had a good year for us from Notre Dame, but they had never really played those stretch minutes, the fourth quarter, if you will, at the places they were. So it took them a while, even though they were older. They were certainly guys we counted on to score down the stretch for us and lead us, but they needed some game reps as well.
And Coach, you got 3 grad transfers this time around to be on your roster. Talk about those young men, what they're going to bring to your roster was a veteran presence for all you guys who are freshmen and sophomores, man, who are learning still.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to put a lot on their plate. And I know they can handle it. Quentin Malloy-Brown from Vanderbilt, I had the pleasure of being on Coach Stackhouse's staff and Coach Quentin, a couple of years ago. Winston Hill, his father and I played together here at the Citadel, so I've known Winston a long time. And then Elijah Morgan, a young man I already mentioned, who came in from Notre Dame, he had 2 years left. So, but those 3 guys, not only are they going to be, out there on the floor a lot for us and be counted on to do everything, they also have to be our leaders. And we just, by nature, taking over the program, we have those 3 grad transfer seniors, if you will, but we don't have any senior scholarship players. We don't have any junior scholarship players. We have 4 sophomores and 6 freshmen. So their job as far as being leaders and reaching down to those young guys is going to be huge. And I tell these guys all the time now, you always say like, coaches as they get older, as soon as they're past 30 years old, you say, I wonder if they can relate to the younger guys, And I always tell them, heck, you 22 and 23 and 24-year-olds, you can't relate to the freshmen. You're worse than the coaches relating to those guys. You look at those 18-year-olds like they came from another planet. So they're going to have a huge leadership challenge of reaching back and helping bring those guys along.
Yeah, it's kind of like that big brother, little brother syndrome. Like my little brother is 6 years younger than me, Coach. And it's like some things I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I help your players because, I'm almost 40. He's in his mid-30s. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Hey, you walk in the locker room these days with the transfer portal and the COVID extra years and all that. You walk in there, I see more eye rolls in the locker room than I do from the staff talking to players. It's those other guys on the other side of the locker room like, what is that young guy talking about? And what's he doing? So, yeah, it's a whole different era.
No doubt, coaches, but it's fun, man. And I'm asking this, Coach, with the NIL and portal thing we have going on there, you feel like you're getting better high school kids that you would ever get a chance to talk to because the Power 5 guys are looking at only the known commodities per se. And then you're able to tap into a high school guy to where they usually would get recruited by the big boys, but now you can tap in and say, hey, the Citadel, we're out in Charleston right here on the water. Great opportunity for you. You can get a guy in there.
I tell you what, every night before I go to bed and say my prayers, I pray that you're correct. I think we have that's my thought as well. And I think we have 6 freshmen on scholarship. I think it's a terrific class, a lot of ability there. I think some people, missed on them, those type of things. And like I said, I hope that we both end up being correct in that theory, that it's a good area to be recruiting those guys.
No doubt, because Coach, I'm very biased to go to grade school because my dad's a Vietnam vet.
Right.
So I'm very biased because my dad's a Vietnam vet. Thank God for the VA. They got me to school, man. They helped me out a lot. So I was 27, me and my brother. So I feel like, hey, the military schools, I'm all for you guys. I know what my dad meant to me and what he did in the Vietnam War. So I'm like, so I want y'all to do well. And
hats
like,
off. All those guys who served, just hats off. And I do everything I can. I'm going to go with another group of coaches in August over to Kuwait. We win a lot 5 to 6, 7 years ago, but we're going back over now to put on some basketball tournaments for the troops over there in the Middle East and do anything we can for those guys and what they provide for us.
And coach, this story, coach, my dad he got blew up by a landmine in Vietnam, right? So when my dad, when I was kids, he's like, you had a tough day, son. He will go put to his skin and put a shrapnel out of his skin and say, do you have a bad day now?
Yeah, how
And
about that? How
that
about
taught
that?
me a lesson about
Yeah,
enjoying everything. My dad, even today, his shrapnel is still there. You can see it. You can push out of his skin. It's like, so for me, it's like, I'm thinking it was a blessing. Like, days aren't bad. My dad had a really bad day, and he can
yeah.
still show it to this day. So it's like, man, coach, I'm as blessed I have a father because he could have died in the Vietnam War, but just what he showed me and my brother as a child, man, like really made us who we are today, man.
And no doubt, in his bad day, provided all of us the opportunity to have a lot of great days. And so forever thankful, forever
No
thankful.
doubt. And Coach West, man, you got two guys from the area here, Madison, Derry, and Tony. Tell me about those two young men and what they bring to your program and how you've seen their games grow as well, man.
So important guys in our program right now. As I mentioned, no seniors, no juniors. Tony and Madison, are two of our older scholarship guys as far as, because they're sophomores and they've been through it for a year. So again, the leadership that they're going to need to provide, and they've done a great job so far. Madison was able to do more last year coming in, but I think they'll both have great opportunities this year. And Madison has worked really hard on his game. He is able to. He brought a physicality in the backcourt we hadn't had in a long time. He's able to get downhill, get to the rim. He as the year went on, he was able to learn how to use his size and defend, at this level against the quicker, smaller guards. Tony's another one. He's a rugged one, not afraid of contact. Neither one of those guys are afraid of contact, so they're doing something right in Atlanta, teaching those guys. They both take charges. They put their body on the line every game, and neither one of them afraid to mix it up.
And Coach, I saw you got Boston College coming to play you at home, man. Got Coach Grant to come on down and see you, man. So talk about getting a big school like that, an HC school to come down and play you at home, man. And how cool that'll be for your fans and expensive for the Citadel campus, man, and the community down there.
Yeah, first Power Five to come since we were here last time in 2010. So big for our campus. Last time, we were able to get Michigan State, Coach Izzo, Southern Cal, OJ Mello's first game was here. Iowa, Clemson, South Carolina, West Virginia all agreed to come to McAllister back when I was here last time. And it's been tough I really want to upgrade the schedule, the expectations, not only of our players, but our fan base and our standard. And so I appreciate Earl Grant like you can't believe. For him to be willing to go on the road and give us this opportunity down here as we try to grow our program, and hopefully we'll be able to convince some other Power Fives teams to do it, because I think it's great. I think college basketball, I think it's meant to be played on campuses, home games. I know it's become a neutral site thing, but I think two things that I'm kind of partial toward is in-season tournaments. I think basketball is kind of because you can play it each night. I think it's a great tournament sport. And you see that in March, but I wish we saw that a little more in the regular season. And then the campus games where you get those student bodies out at the games, I think are just fantastic. So we also renewed our rivalry with the College of Charleston. They hadn't played them in numerous years. That game's always a sellout and brings great attention here. And Coach Kelsey's done a phenomenal job over there, but hopefully we can reclaim a little bit of the city, from them here in the next couple of years. But I think that's what's fun about college basketball is those type of games.
100%, Coach. Well, that's what I got for you, man, Coach. The Southern Conference, man. I feel like it's getting better and better each year. The talent you are getting better each year. So talk about how this conference, man. It's one of the best mid-major conferences in the country, in my opinion. Top to bottom, there's no tough outs in the SoCon each night. And I know you have the coach to go. It sucks so nicely, the coaching, but it's funny. But it's also tough every night though. And you see what you all can do. And I feel like if people watch you all more, they'll see quality of ball, man. You're playing in SoCon right here in our backyard in the South, man.
Yeah, I think it's a terrific league, and some of the things I think that go into making it such a good league. We've had some consistency. We haven't been expanding or subtracting teams as much as other leagues have. One thing that I think is great for basketball is we play everybody twice, so it's a true round robin 18 game schedule with the 10 teams in the league. And I think basketball, again, going back to what I think about the sport, I think familiarity in basketball, you see it in the NBA playoffs every year. The more those teams play each other, well, it becomes better and better basketball, right? Because of the rivalries and the intensity. And so we play each other twice. So, and then you play them probably in the tournament. There's great familiarity, unlike some leagues. And then the proximity of the teams where we're all pretty close to each other. I think it's just a great league, and I love the fact that our conference tournament is in the same place every year in Asheville. Fans can count on going there and seeing every team in there. So it's just a really good league, and I think we've got the right formula right now.
Well, it was with Coach Conroy. I thank you for your time today, man. Hope to see we Atlanta recruiting, find some more gyms, man. I love it. We gotta get some eat somewhere, man. Have a good time and bring bread, man. It'll be fun, man.
We'll bring the C everywhere. There we go.
Yes, and rep that C, Coach. Rep that C, man. Hey, Coach,
All
it's
right.
fun as always, man. I'll see you soon, man.
All right. Take care.